Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. You are watching YouTube channel of Professor Dr. Rizwan Jamil Qureshi and I'm covering software economics course lecture number 8. We were discussing planning and the role of planning in the project, that planning is like foundation of a building and building will collapse after a few years. Foundation is weak and similarly the project will fail if planning is not properly made and documented. So it's like foundation of a building, like if you have building like Burj Khalifa or you have Twin Tower of Malaysia or Eiffel Tower of France, if their foundations were weak, they would have fallen long time before. So their foundations are very strong. That is the reason they are still on the ground. Similarly, the projects are always successful if we have strong planning. Then I was discussing the SWOT test. It is also called SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So companies always go for SWOT test or SWOT analysis. Strengths: what are the strengths of the company? What are their strong areas? What are their expertise? And what are their resources? That is also their strength. So I also asked my students that even at the individual level, at my student level, as a person, you should know your strengths. You should know your strength or your strengths. For example, I remember one of the story of Indian businessman. Businessman name is Azim Premji. He is the executive chairman of Wipro company. During his one of the motivational lectures, he told a story of a rabbit. You know, rabbits are very good in race and jumping. So in the school, there was a competition of jump and the race. He won all the competition. But rabbits are very bad, very poor in swimming. So he failed in the swimming competition. So his parents asked him, forget about the jump and forget about the race running. Now you learn swimming. So he spent whole year to learn swimming, and then next year even he failed in the running and the jumping competition. So that means if you don't work on your strength, your strong area, it will also become your weak area. So you should, if you are good in programming, you should work on that. You should improve that. And if something is your weak, then you should forget about it and you should not concentrate much on that. For example, Microsoft, their strength is their usability. So Microsoft always work on their strength to improve their usability, user UXD, your experience design. And we have weakness. So what are your weaknesses? For example, Rabbit weakness is swimming. Microsoft weakness is security. So they never focused on the security because they know it's their weak area. And then opportunities, how you can convert, transform your strengths into opportunities. So what are the market trends? You should work on the market trend. For example, I remember Microsoft story when Microsoft purchased Nokia, and it was too late for the Microsoft to introduce in the mobile market. Microsoft was good in operating system and other application software like Office. But for example, Nokia was once market leader. Then Samsung captured the market and iPhone captured the market. So, and then there are so many companies are there. HTC is there. There is Toshiba is there. So it was too late for Microsoft to purchase Nokia. I remember I was taking lecture in FCIT, and after the Microsoft contract with Nokia, I told to my students in the software engineering course or software economics course that it will become Titanic for Microsoft if Microsoft will not get rid of Nokia, because all your profits will transform into your losses. And within a couple of years, Microsoft realized it was their mistake, it was blunder. So Microsoft canceled the contract and returned to Nokia. the Nokia product to Nokia company that thank you very much. We cannot continue that. So it is your weakness. So it is not the market trend, and it was not market opportunity for Microsoft. So it was late for Microsoft to enter in the mobile market. So you have to look what are the market trend, and at the right time you have to click at the right time, at the right moment. You have to execute. If you are late, for example, you have a flight and you reach to the airport late, then boarding will close and you will miss your flight. So right step at the right moment. This is the opportunity you have to, like for example, Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple company, when he decided to have iPad, it was his idea. Similarly, graphical user interface was his idea. So, and there are so many ideas by Steve Jobs, iPad, iPod, these all are ideas of Steve Jobs, and that is the reason Apple company is one of the successful companies. So, you have to take right action at the right moment. That is your opportunity. You have to grasp the opportunity. You have to take the opportunity, otherwise you will miss it. So the companies like Nestle, Almarai, Unilever, IBM was another example. IBM was the leader in the hardware manufacturing, but then IBM realized that future is about the software. So they sold their hardware unit and switched to software industry, and they start purchasing and merging the software companies. They opened their own software companies. So they took the opportunity, and it was very successful step by IBM. Then threats. What are your threats in terms of your stakeholders, in terms of your competitors? What they can damage to you as a company or as an individual, or what your competitors want to see you as a weak person, or to kill you. I remember one of the books I read, Swimming with the Sharks, that practical life is like you are swimming with the sharks. So shark is very good in eating other fishes and in very good at hunting. So in the market or in the professional career or as a company, the big companies are ready to eat you. So you have to survive. How you survive? That is your strength. Again, go back to your S, strength. Strength will keep you survive in the market. You can survive by your strength, and your competitors are always looking for your weak areas. I remember one story of a company. The software company was developing a software for ATM system of local market in Pakistan, and that software was to integrate with the ATM system of a bank to support them for some extra functionalities. But as a standalone, that system works well, function well. But once they integrate with the ATM, the data is not importing and exporting. So customer gave them extra 6 months. But they failed to fix the bug. There was logical error. It was not syntax error. It was logical error. Finally, customer cancelled the contract and sue them in the Pakistani court. They have to pay them penalty. Now, this moment, their competitors catch this news and they start spreading in the market, start broadcasting like BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, that this company failed. Even I was in the university. I heard this news that that company XYZ, I don't want to mention the name, XYZ failed. And finally, they have to suffer the loss, and they find it very difficult to get new projects because in the market their reputation was very badly affected. So that is the SWOT. And after this, once they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, how they can improve their weaknesses, if they decided. Then they go for opportunities, and in terms of opportunities, they look for future projects. So then they do planning. So we have long-term planning or strategic planning. We have short-term or tactical planning. We have operational or day-to-day planning. Now let's go to the long-term. Which planning is called long-term? More than 1 year. Long-term plan is greater than 1 year. For example, Maslan, your degree program is a long-term plan. Long-term plan is greater than 1 year. For example, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Like Vision 2020, Vision 2030 was long-term plan. Your degree program. Pakistani government always made a long-term plan after every 5 years. So that is the reason it's called strategic plan. Then, for example, let me go to the slide. Top management of a company always does the long-term plan, and it is used to make future plans like Nestle, Almarai, Unilever, or for example Honda, Toyota, IBM, Microsoft, Apple, Google, HP. They always do long-term plan that what are the future products they want to introduce. Then very popular example of Japanese 5th generation project. They started that project in 1982 at the cost of $450 million. After World War II, Japanese currency was very low. So it was a huge investment for them, and objective was to automate their industry. 1982 to 1992. So they successfully implemented that plan, and their 90% plus industry is automated. Now everything is from China, but in 1990s, every electronic, everything was from Japan. Japan was the leader in the manufacturing industry, and then they switched from manufacturing industry to automation for artificial intelligence, machines, robotics. So they transferred the technology to China, Korea, Malaysia. So that is the very popular example of long-term plan. And Pakistani Hakuma plan 1960 to 1965. Korea took Pakistani plan, and you can see they not only made a plan but they also implemented it. So you can see now Korea is so advanced because of the 5-year plan they took from Pakistan, and then they continuously improve it after every 5 years. Nestle company always made long-term plan. They have R&D department in Switzerland. Nestle is operating in 144 countries in the world. Their head office is in Switzerland. So it's a Switzerland-based company. They have 5,000 scientists in their R&D department to look for the future projects, future products they want to introduce. And then we discuss the example of Pakistani Hakuma, we discuss the example of your degree program, then we discuss, for example, Vision 2030. So these all are examples of long-term plan. Then I will give you example ERP system. ERP system is also an example of long-term plan. Normally, information systems are the result of long-term plan. That, for example, ERP, it's a collection of integrated systems to automate the business processes of a company. That is the definition of ERP. So it's a collection of so many systems modules. We have HR module, we have payroll module, we have inventory module, we have CRM, customer relationship management system, supply chain management system, logistics support system, attendance system. So, for example, the first project is HR system, human resource, then second customer relationship, then supply chain management, then logistics support, then payroll. So in this way, one by one, they will execute, the company will execute. So these are the different examples of long-term plan. What is the short-term plan. Which plan will be called short term? Short term plan is normally made for 4 months, 6 months, or 1 year. Less than equal 1 year. 4 months, 6 months, or 1 year. For example, your degree program has so many semesters, and King Abdulaziz University is running tri-semester system. We have spring, fall, and summer. We have spring, fall, and summer. So that's the tri-semester. Some universities are running bi-semester, 2 semesters. So they have spring, fall, and no summer. So your semester is composed of 4 months. That is short term. So your degree program, which is a long term, we divide into semester wise, semester by semester, you complete it. Like I gave you example of ERP system. It's a collection of integrated systems. So first system, for example, HR, that is for 4 months or 6 months or 1 year. Then payroll, then inventory, and so on. So it's also called tactical, short term or tactical, because this is the most sophisticated portion. This is the most difficult to execute long term. To break long term into short term, that how your 5 years, 10 years, 4 years, 20 years, you divide into short term to execute milestone. So short term is like milestone, and it is the most tactical portion. So middle level managers do short term or tactical. So long term, like top management, business executives, chief executives, board of directors, board of governors, they made long term plan, or Hakuma. Then departments, or like president made your long term plan 4 years. Then the middle level manager is the dean and the vice dean. So top management, president, vice president made long term. Then dean, Amidul Kuliya, Vakilul Kuliya, you have vice dean of academics. He is responsible to execute the long term into short term, that which courses they want to offer in which semester. So this is the most tactical, skilled job to execute the long term. That how you divide the long term into short term to complete your long term successfully, milestone by milestone. So middle level management made short term plan for 4 months or 6 months or yearly basis. So short term plans are used to implement the long term plan portion by portion, milestone by milestone. Like I gave you example of ERP system, you divide into milestones, short term, system by system, like payroll, attendance, logistic, HR, CRM, SCM. Annual budget is also example of short term. Annual budget of a company or country. King Abdulaziz University has annual budget from the Ministry of Higher Education. Production schedule, like Honda, Toyota, they have production schedule for next few months or for 1 year. They made long-term plan that what cars they will introduce in the future, and then based on the order, they do the manufacturing and the number of cars, how many cars, what is the demand, what is the supply. They have to see how many cars they will manufacture. So production schedule, like IBM, Google, HP, Apple, they all do long-term plan, then they do short-term plan. Annual inventory, for example, King Abdulaziz University, what is the annual inventory for them? What are the resource distribution? Who will do what? So what task, what courses will be taught by which instructor, which professor or assistant or lecturer or TA. So in this way, resource distribution will also be done at the short term. So that's also done by the middle level managers. Then you have operational or day to day. The third type is operational or day to day. So as the name is indicating, it's operational day by day. Like for example, daily lectures or daily job allocation, like in software companies or even all manufacturing companies, government companies, they have a meeting at the beginning of day, at the start of the day for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that what task will be allocated, what are the today's tasks, what are the yesterday tasks, why they are not completed, what was the problem, and then they discuss the solution of that problem. So yesterday task plus today's task they have to complete. That is operational, daily manufacturing, daily sale. So operational plans are made by lower management. Like for example, Raisul Kisam chairman, they will do operational or day to day. So daily stock for production are the examples, job allocation per shift, receipts of sale, invoices for shipment to customers, daily evaluation of sale and purchase figures, daily lectures. So that's day by day, operationally in the manufacturing unit or in the construction industry, daily, what is the daily task they have to complete, daily lectures, daily jobs for the software company, what are the functions they have to complete on a certain day. So at the start of the day they have meeting, and then so after this, software company has to submit during the planning, they have to submit a project specs to the customer. Anybody knows the other name of project specs? We discussed proposal. It is also called baseline document. What are the contents of project specs? So end product of planning is project specs. So customer already initialized the project and sent SSR, system service request, to 3 or 4 companies. So they will come to customer side to have initial communication, and so they can do planning and submit project specs to the customer. What are the contents of project specs? One by one, let me ask. Show 7. What are the contents of project specifications? Agreement, start date, end date. No, not yet. No agreement is signed at this stage, because 3 or 4 companies will submit their project specs or proposal to the customer. Then customer will decide which company has best proposal, best project specs, and then sign the contract, the customer and the software company. There are 3 things which are mandatory for all software companies to submit. They have to submit project introduction, feasibility assessments, and management issues. What are the contents of project introduction? The main contents of project introduction is the history of the project. So what is the history of a project? What is the meaning of history? History means tarikh in Arabic. Tarikh. History means what is the current system running in the company, existing system. What are the inputs, outputs of the current system? What are the main types of users? What are their roles? What is the flow of information from start to end, start of the system to end of the system? So input of a system, output of a system, functions of a system, that's current. So that's the history. Then if, for example, customer doesn't have existing system, then what they will write, the software company will write in the history. If, for example, it's new system customer wants to introduce a new system in the company, they don't have existing system, then what we will write in the history? If the customer doesn't have current system, existing system, they want to introduce a new system. For example, they don't have CRM, customer relationship management system. So they want to introduce customer relationship management system in the company. So what we will write in the history? Then the software company will look for case studies, the similar systems running in other companies. That will be the history of the new system. Then based on the history, like for example, for your capstone project, 498, for the proposal, it's a requirement by the supervisor and by the committee for your degree project, capstone project, that you have to look for similar systems and you have to come up with the main problems of the current similar systems So that's the same we will do if customer doesn't have existing system. The next content of project introduction is the main problems of the current system. What customer is facing problems in the current system? For example, time consuming, cost consuming, low productivity, less quality, poor customer satisfaction. These could be few examples that customer is facing problems. So these are the main problems of the current system. Then you have scope of the new system. The third content of project introduction document is the scope of new system. So in the scope you have a statement of scope. What is the meaning of scope? The goal of new system. The statement of scope, how the new system is going to solve the problems of the current system. So paragraphically we will write statement of scope, that how the new system is going to solve the problems of current system. That is scope of new system. In the scope we have three contents we need to cover. Context of new system, main inputs and outputs of new system, and main functions of new system. What is the context? Context is like, I will give you an example. In our 10th standard in Pakistan, we have, like your native language is Arabic, we have our native language Urdu. We have a subject Urdu. Yes, environment in which project operates, wonderful. So I am going to explain this with the example. We have stories, lessons in the book. They took one paragraph, the examiner took one paragraph from one of the stories or one of the lessons, and the question is, write the context of this paragraph. That how this paragraph fits into the story. What is the before, what is the after this paragraph? We don't need to explain the paragraph. We need to write what is before this paragraph and what is after this paragraph, how this paragraph completes the story. That is the context. That means what are the existing systems running at the customer side, where the new system is going to plug. What is the environment in which this system is going to operate? Environment in which system is going to function, operate. That is the context. Assalamu alaikum.